exciting online event on RAG application in Microsoft Fabric Eventhouse with OpenAI. And our speaker for the day is Vinodh Kumar, a cloud data architect and Microsoft certified trainer. So now moving to who we are and what we stands for. So we are multi-cloud for you. We are having more than 100,000 strong technologists from all over the globe. We specialized in multi-cloud strategies, data science, artificial intelligence, blockchain, stream engineering, and many more. And we also help technologists to share their learning through our platform, which is www.fifthia.com. Now, how we are growing. So we have conducted more than 1,000 sessions till now, and we are having more than 400 speakers and 3,000 members who are associated with our platform. These are few of our master mentors who are associated with our platform. These are few of our relationship partners who are Bata, Piper, Zera America, Alibaba Cloud, Oryx Lab, Brillio, Dell, Microsoft, Multiverse, Persistent, Philips, Tiger Analytics, and many more. We are also an academic partner with Alibaba Cloud. And these are the few courses that we have done in line with Alibaba Cloud. And you can go through all these courses through our platform, which is www.fifthia.com. Now, how we help? So we help in building your knowledge, digital presence, and helping you in orders when you are looking for a job through our community. We are a global data consulting and digital business transformation firm ranked by CIO Tech Outlook among the top 10 digital business transformation consulting startup in India. We are a community focused tech firm dedicated to aiding businesses in digital transformation through data engineering, automation, custom applications, analytics, and science, demonstrated by ongoing community investment at www.fifthia.com. No, now, as a part of our community, we will provide a free certificate to all the registered participants. So I request all the attendees who have not registered for this event, please register through the given link, which is mentioned here, which is www.fifthia.com. And I will also ping this link in the chat box. And the certificate will be issued from our side within 1 week. You will get the certificate on your registered email ID. And this is a sample certificate which we will provide you for the completion of this event. Now moving to the speaker of the day, who is Vinodh Kumar, a cloud data architect, Microsoft certified trainer, Microsoft certified Azure data engineer. He is also a global speaker, blogger, and his expertise are in data warehousing, lakehouse, Synapse, Fabric, and many more. And for more information about Vinodh Kumar, you can go through his LinkedIn profile, which is mentioned here. Now over to Vinodh Kumar. Welcome, Vinodh. Over to you.
So just let me know if there is any lag or if you are not hearing a voice or anything. Just give me a hint. Okay. So about me, she has given an intro about me, what I do, and considering the time to be briefly tell a few words about me. I'm a data architect, Microsoft MVP on Fabric data category, MCT, and then I've done a lot of certifications. Okay. So today the topic that we are planned to discuss is on the accessing RAG using Fabric. So most probably there are a lot of companies that have started exploring about Fabric, And combining RAG and Fabric is the new a new milestone the companies are looking at to work out and extract the benefits of generative AI using Fabric. Okay, so why should we have both of these together? Uh, why shouldn't we go with some other tool? Every other tool, there are a lot of tools available in the market that works, but Fabric has a separate set of benefits, as well as RAG and generative AI has exceptional benefits. But combining both of these will give you a blend wherein you don't have to tune a lot of knobs to control your GenAI application and accessing all your data from a single source. So I believe there are a lot of people who has joined here has already knew about Fabric a little bit, but just for the sake of the topic, for me to give an overview, I'm not going to deep dive on Fabric, but I'll try to give my overall high-level view on what is Fabric, and then followed by the main topic. So uh, if you see, this is a Fabric a landscape. Fabric has been usually called as an unified analytic solution. So why should we call it an unified analytic solution? Because you don't, when you buy Fabric, when you get Fabric, and you can set a solution, data solution, where you don't have to go out or you don't have to purchase any single other tool for you to integrate, extract, or save your data into your hard disk. Sorry, into your storage. So how does this happen? Just before Fabric, there were a lot of tools like ADF for pipelines, ETLs, and ADLS for storage mechanism, for relational data store, SQL Server, and then you have Synapse. Synapse. There is a tool called Synapse that is for data lake, and then storing huge amount of data, big data workloads. And then the once Fabric came, what Fabric done is they unified all these data, all these services under a single platform called Fabric. So how this work is, you don't have to equip yourself or do a lot of learning to get into Fabric, because Fabric learning is not a steep curve. Just because the tools, the ADF, Synapse, the storage that you used before Power BI and everything is almost 70 to 75% is almost the same. So if you are an ADF user, if you have used with ADLS, SQL Server, and Power BI, Synapse, and everything, this is not going to take you a lot of time to get accustomed to Fabric, because you are going to use the same amount of tools that you have worked previously. So then, what is the difference? The difference is the storage. You don't have a separate ADLS storage for you to store your data, because Fabric, the main pushing point for Fabric is single storage method. Store one time, use it multiple times. You don't have to copy it multiple times, because usually what we'll do, once we store data in ADLS, we'll transfer it to some other domain, some other teams for them to work on it. And over the period of time, your data becomes into multiple copies. And then but at one amount of time, like one point of time, you don't know which is your original data. There is no single source of truth, because there is multiple copies now. So when you come into Fabric, Fabric comes up with a solution called One Lake. In One Lake, you can store your data, and once you stored it, you can access it via multiple tools that are shown here, like Data Factory. These are all personas, which we'll see there. Data engineering, warehouse, everything is available under the Fabric umbrella. You can use it using the One Lake uh, uh, data storage. So you will be saving your data only once, and you don't have to copy multiple times everywhere, like some other teams, like HR team to sales team, sales to admin team, or something like that. You don't have to do it. The data will be stored only once. All can use a markup and read-only level access, and then from there do all their analytics over there. We'll see that how this is done. So if you say, sometimes I get a lot of questions like, So when you say one lake, so does one lake restrict Fabric to use it only one lake? What if my data is in S3 or GCS or some other storage, right? So, but still there are options there. There are features called shortcuts, wherein still you don't have to copy your data. Isn't that very fantastic? Like you have 100 terabytes of data, and normally what we'll do, we'll transfer everything to ADLS, and then from there we'll work. But with the use of shortcuts, you can just create a shortcut from your Fabric into your S3, and from there access your data. This is a fantastic solution where you don't have to copy data from any other solution that is available out of your Fabric. You still can access that data. Of course, the lag will be there because the ingress and egress plays a lot of role here. So it depends upon what region your S3 is in, or how the egress is calculated and everything. But still, there is an option you can use without copying the data. So this is brief about Fabric and most important characteristics. And then coming to the next one, you see here, 1 minute, let me go into. Okay. This is a typical use case, right? In Fabric. So what happens in Fabric in typical architecture? So this is a very typical architecture of a Fabric in not so complex environment that people will work on. Like you bring every tool that is available under Fabric in one umbrella, and then you have the option. You still can use ADLS if you want. You can have it in one lake, and then you have the option to segregate via workspaces. And then from there, you do all your retail stuff and everything. And then from within Fabric, you can visualize all your data using Power BI. So unified data management, and then you can still use, there is another data governance tool called Purview, which integrates very well with Fabric. That is also Microsoft tool. From there, you can do all your data governance tasks and data safety and sensitivity and everything that can be done over there. Okay, coming to RAG, the second part of it. What is RAG? RAG, I don't have to tell a lot about it because RAG is a topic that has been beaten to death in the last 1 year. Because everywhere you go, GenA, and then RAG, GenA. So in simple terms, what is RAG? Normally in a retrieval augmented generation, which is also called as RAG, what happens? There will be a base model without RAG MC. Without RAG, there will be base model that will be trained up to a certain date, and then when you use it up to a date, you'll be okay with it. For example, if there is a business and the business is having a base data of about until 31st December 2023, and then they work on it, they use it for the next 30, 60 days without any issues, and then there's one more bunch of updates that is coming in. So when you don't have that update into your base data, so your the data, the answer that you're trying to query will not be relevant. You will be having the answers, but that's not updated. You'll be restricted up to the date of your base data that has been trained, like that is 31st December 2023. So what is the approach here? How can we overcome this? Is there are two approaches. These are the most common approaches. There is a thing called fine tuning, uh, where you will frequently update your fine tune your base data with the current updated data, the updates, and then the model quality will improve. But uh, this incurs a lot of cost, and there is a lot of effort too, because when you train the entire model. So imagine your model is scaling to a huge amount of size. So in that case, this is going to be a separate activity and it's costlier. So there is another simple approach for this that is called RAG. So what happens with RAG is you don't have to fine tune. You can simply update your current data, that is you're having the updated data within your organization or something, and on top of it you can use LLMs. What will happen is the LLMs will form the questions, and then that question will be asked to your data, and once it gets the relevant updated answer, and then it goes to the GenAI, and then forms a nice human-like query, and then forms a best answer for you, and then gives out to you as an output. So how this happens, how the RAG happens is, uh, the the data would be chunked into manageable pieces. Like this is a typical diagram that you can understand in one single diagram about how RAG works, right? So the source data comes in. Normally, if you are an old school data science guy, or if you have studied more on NLP, so you would relate a lot of to it, chunking, chunking the data into multiple pieces and then convert into numbers called vectors, because there is a all these datas, right? For example, if I have a document that is 500 pages, so I can't simply upload it, and then when I ask something into it, it can't simply go and read line by line to give you an answer. That's not going to happen. That's impossible, time consuming, and useless. So what will happen is the numbers. What does the algorithms, what does the system works very well, right? The compute. It works very well with numbers. So for that to happen, you will have to convert your input data into a number. So you can't simply convert everything into a number, and then you can't simply store it in a one single JSON file or something like that. No, because that should be queryable. You should be able to query it in faster way. So for that, you will have to use the indexes. For indexes, for that, I have to work very well. That has to be on numbers, not on uh, this thing, text or something. But still, it's possible, but it would not be an efficient method. So what it happens is it will chunk data into smaller pieces, convert them into vectors, also called as embeddings, and then the embeddings, all these will be it's called as, there's a thing called embedding store where it will it's called as, also called as vector index, which I talked to you before, right? The index level queryable features which will make it faster, and then from there your output will be taken out, extracted. Okay. Coming to vector database, the first thing, it will crack open, chunk it into smaller pieces, and then convert into vectors. Vectors is nothing but dimensions, multiple numbers like matrix or something, and then storing it into vector databases. These are vector databases, and I'm just passing by. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can also put it in the chat. If you feel I'm going faster, or if you have any questions, you can always call out. No issues. Coming to the vector database, right? Vector DBs are data stores optimized for storing and processing vector data. What is vector data? Like I said, dimension data, numbers like matrix level of data, mostly used in machine learning operations previously, and then those are called as embeddings when they use it over there, and then they convert, typically like I've said before, they'll convert text and images into high dimension matrices containing numbers, and then efficiently that will, with the use of indexes, they can efficiently search and compare these vectors, and then give you an answer. How, even if you go deeper, how this works is, how would searches is, there is an there's a thing called similarity search, uh, and then causing similarity. These are very deep level. If you have time, please go and explore it. So it will look out for the relative answers based on the similarity. Like, for example, if you store it, some text into matrices like vector dimensions, and then the text, when you ask, the text will be again converted into numbers, and then it will be search the similar values, similarity search. And then it will give you the related results, extract the related results, and then it will assume that is the answer you are expecting. So that is how it works. in the inside. So this is a very interesting topic. I would suggest you go and explore a lot of it. Uh, but I can't cover a complete ground level view on it. I'm just giving an overview on that. So if you see, this is in RAG architecture where the document comes in, it is turned into embedding models, and then vector store as a vector databases, and then retrieval results are combined with LLM to give you a natural language output. Okay, so now we are going to use the, first of all, there are a lot of vector databases. There are a lot of open source vector databases, cloud-based vector databases where you can use in combination with your GenAI, and then well, you can use it to store all your dimension data into it. From there, you can call it out. But it's always when you have a tool like Fabric, which caters every single need of yours, you don't have to go out, right? You don't have to go out because for Fabric, we have a specialized service called Eventhouse, which will help you store your vector details into it and act as vector databases. So for this also comes within the Fabric, so you don't have to purchase separately. So see here, designed as a comprehensive solution for real-time event ingestion. Plus, this also helps you to store all your data in a real-time level. Like I've said you before, right? Updating your base data. You don't have to take an activity to do it. The real-time data comes in, stores into your event house, and from there it will coordinate with your OpenAI. So your base model is forever updated. It gets updated very frequently, like whenever the data comes in. So there is no specialized process, or you don't have to break it to update your base model. So throughput is very high. It can ingest data into very high throughput with high scalability, and then real-time processing and everything. How and why should we use Fabric event houses? It is based on KQL engine, that is custom engine, custom query language engine that always delivers a top-notch performance. If you have worked with KQL, you know the amount of speed KQL could do, right? The queries are very simple. You don't have to write 3-4 lines of code to access data out of KQL databases. The event house is uh, one type of event house. Event house is another kind of a KQL database. So when you create an event house, you will automatically see it will be adhering to KQL standards where you can query all the data using your crystal queries and access everything that I'll show you. And then I have a demo. I have set up everything I can show you. So the prerequisites are you should have a Fabric workspace, and we are going to create a notebook and lakehouse. And then you should have an OpenAI with two model deployments, one for your vector databases, text embedding ADA 002, and then for your natural language answering capabilities for GPT-4. The steps I've used is I've read files from Fabric Lakehouse. I created embeddings using the text using from the text using ADA embedding model. I use the ADA embedding model 002 only for the embeddings, not for natural language answers. So, and then I'm saving the text and embedding into my Fabric Eventhouse, which I told you before, like that will act as an vector database. This is one part, and whenever I trigger a question, to answer to get the answer from my knowledge base. It will create the embeddings for the question. Not only the data stores will get into matrices, the questions also converted into numbers, and then you're using similarity search. The answer has been extracted, again converted back into text level, and uses GPT-4 model to get a natural language answer. So if I could show you uh, quickly. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask me, guys. Just give me a minute.
Participants, you can unmute yourself and ask the question if you have any.
You can also put it in chat if you want. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So basically, I believe you guys would be familiar already, but I'll just show you how the Fabric environment looks like. So typically, this is how the Fabric environment look like, and this is called personas. You see it here, right? These are called personas. These are nothing but you can go to any persona and use any services, but this is for the sake of simplicity. They've given so teams would select their appropriate personas and work on it immediately. So if I'm going to data engineering, I have my workspace created, rag and fabric. This is my workspace. Once I create a workspace, I'll have one lake associated with it. So because when you buy a fabric license, you'll be getting one lake, and upon the amount of workspaces that you would create, all those can use a segregated level of one lake storage levels. So these are the items that are in my uh, workspace. So the fabric is created. So the fabric to work, you can have a fabric trial, but the fabric trial will not work very well with the OpenAI. So you'll have to make sure you have a paid license. I have a F2, the base level licenses. I created and assigned it to the fabric capacity base level. So it works very well. So you can create it from your Azure portal. Like I've created this fabric capacity F2, and then I started it. And then go to your OpenAI. And then from your OpenAI, you can create a couple of models. If I show you here, I created a couple of models here. The first one I created is ADA 002 for embeddings, and then followed by GPT-4 for answering, converting an answer in natural language. These are the two models I've created in your OpenAI. If you want, you can create and play with your OpenAI, but you'll have to request using a OpenAI form. You'll have to make a request to Microsoft, and then they approve it. You will have to request using your official mail ID, and then they'll approve it, and then from there you can start playing out with your trial model editions. Okay. So, and then once it is done, I've imported this notebook. This notebook will be doing everything over here. Okay. So first install some libraries and then create a lakehouse. Lakehouse, I've created a KQL lakehouse here. See here, lakehouse. So I created lakehouse called LHRAG and then uploaded my source data. So I have three data here. For this, I'll be using this on Moby Dick PDF. This is an storybook, PDF based storybook, which I'm going to use it. So but that will make sure it will read all the contents and answer appropriately. So for this lakehouse, I've read everything. This is one item. And then I've attached that lakehouse here, and then you see here there are a lot of when you are using your OpenAI, you'll have to copy few of the items like deployment, OpenAI deployment mode, OpenAI key, embedding deployment name, and everything. So this embedding deployment name is for the text data 002, which I said you before is for my embeddings, and then GPT-4 for converting into natural language. And then you see here I'm creating if you see, I created a KQL event stream database. For example, I can show you here how to create it. If you go to new item, you just type event house. Don't confuse between these two because there is one more thing will be called event stream. Both helps with huge ingestion of data. So you can use it for other purposes, but event stream works with uh, kind of click logs uh, loggings, IoT devices, all those minor, not so big data is there, right? Those can be used via event stream because it stores a lot of data, but it stores at the file level. It won't do any kind of processing. Whereas if you go with Event House, you will have the option to ingest somewhat bigger logs, but at the same time, it allows you to get an insight, do some processing, and possibly some kind of basic ETL overhead. So like this, once I created it, so this is my Event House RAG. This is my Event House database. Once you see here, you'll get all the details in this dashboard, right? If you go over it, like if you click on it, so this is my size of my Event House RAG KQL database. That is Event House database, which obviously will be shown as KQL database here. So if you for connecting into this, you'll have to copy all this data, right? So URI and some kind of cluster names and something which you can get it over here using the system overview tab. So under this, I'm creating one table for storing my embeddings. What will do the embeddings, what will do is chunk my data into multiple pieces, and then once it's chunked, it is going to assign the matrices to it, embedding values. For example, here I had this Moby Dick book, the entire book, and then it chunked only these 4 lines, right? These some 10 lines or something. This is customizable. You can make sure how much you want to take, but leaving it at default by leaving it to do it, its own job will be very easy and non-complex. And then for this particular amount of paragraph or something, it is saving this embedding model, that is dimension vectorization. So if you see here, this goes on forever. Like if you see here, it goes like 1538 or something, but each value might look like some 12 digit or 13 digital, but once when you copy or if you try to dissect, it will be like you would find every single unique word is unique. Every text, the numbers assigned to a particular word is unique. So from here, you can get what are the data that has been chunked here, and then the approximate values for the dimension values. So the size comes around 76 MB. So this is basic level details that you could see in the dashboards. Once that is done, we can come into our notebook, building a RAG with Fabric. So the basically the some basic level libraries installation, and then like I've said you before, get the details for the couple of models that you have created, right? GPT-4 and ADA, text embedding ADA 002, the OpenAI key and everything. It's always try to use key vault, that is safer for this demo because I'll delete it however. So I'm just openly pasting it everything here, but it's always good to have it everything in the key vault and calling it over there. That is the best practice. Okay, and then I'm using the OpenAI libraries here, and then getting into I'm first creating the embeddings for the data. So my document name is Moby Dick Book. Can even try to show you how the will look like. See, this is the document. So this is the project book consisting around 366 pages with around 135 chapters. So this is a storybook. It has a multiple contexts, multiple characters, lot of dramas and everything. So uh, the real task is how the GPT would be able to get us an accurate answer. So I'm reading it, reading the file, and then splitting it into 1,000 character long. Like I've said you before, right? This is customizable. You can change the chunk size with 100. The overlap is plus or minus, like because it can't abruptly end your chunk, right? It will have to search for a full stop or the sentence ending for it to end. So when you give the chunk overlap, it will, if the 1,000th word is not ending the sentence, it will go plus or minus sway between positive and negative, so it will complete the sentence. And then this is my path. If you go here, you'll find the APFS path and everything. From there, you can store it here, and then it splits into 1,446 pages. And then I'm storing everything into a pandas data frame. And then it is getting stored into all the things into 3 columns, right? Document name, content, and embedding. Everything I'm gathering into it, and then calculating the embedding using OpenAI ADA model. So this is where the text embedding ADA model comes into play. So I am calculating the embeddings, like I am using the embeddings with the ADA model 002 model for for writing the data into Eventhouse. So if you see it here, the data frame, whatever I stored it here. Questions. Just let me know if you guys are having some tough time in hearing me, because I'm getting alert like I have a poor network. Okay. So writing the data back to Fabric Eventhouse. So I'm writing everything into my Eventhouse database as a, if you see here, these are the details I said you will have to take it over from your system storage, like the connection details and everything, access token and everything from there, which we gave at the first cell, right? From there. And then the vector search comes into play. I'm first of all creating a function to call GPT-4 for a natural language answer. This is just a function. I'm just creating it, and then I'll call it at the end. And then for one function for retrieving the answers using embeddings with similarity search, which I said before, right? There is two things, similarity search and cosine search, right? So from there, it is going to search and then retrieving the answer from event. This is my question. I'm just asking, based on the story, why does the coffin prepared for Q-cut become Ishmael's like boy once the peacock sings? So I am expecting an answer that it will try to give after reading all the complete storybook, which is 366 pages. Let's see that. And then from there, here what we are getting, right? I'm just giving a message. You are a helpful assistant. This is for the GPT-4. Answer the query, answer the question using the provided information. Do not add anything else. Don't try to hallucinate. You don't have to add anything else just for me to give an answer. I'm just giving an instruction for it. Uh, prompt, prompt for it, and then the answer comes out. The coffin prepared for the queen becomes Ishmael's life boy because it was specifically written to serve as a life boy. So this is the context it has understood, which is right. It is giving me an exact answer, reading out the entire storybook within seconds. So this is the one I've created. I can even show you running it to demo you live. This one works very good because so you'll get a perspective. So any questions so far? So meanwhile, this one's running. So I would definitely ask you guys, suggest you guys to explore the items that are available in Fabric. because whatever you do with a separate service outside, you will have the option to get it done within Fabric. So I'm not telling this because I'm not related anything with. I'm not trying to sell Microsoft here, although I'm a Microsoft MVP, but I'm not trying to sell it here. But the benefit as an engineer or architect that you'll get is you'll get everything under a single license, right? For example, previously I used to have uh, separate license for ADF, ADLS, Azure SQL Server, and for Synapse, everything, and then for Power BI. Five licenses, for example, for my environment, for five licenses, I reduced into a single license called Fabric. So now they are able to save a lot of cost. Being said that, if you are a Spark user, uh, it will be a bit costlier. It's not costlier because mostly people come to Fabric thinking it will be a dead cheap against compared with Databricks. No, you can't do that because Fabric is a robust platform. When you have a huge amount of storage, you can come here because you'll see the cost save and the difference. But if you're running around 100 gigs or 50 gigs on data and something, so I would say the Fabric is not going to be a lot of cost save for you, except the experience and future planning. That would be useful, but you won't get a lot of benefit on it. You can go ahead and use your separate services that would work very well for you. But just in case, if your enterprise platform, your environment has a lot of options, and then you can go ahead and always try Fabric because you have multiple integrations with it. So you don't have to go around and integrate everything. For example, if I use it in Glue or ADF and everything, so I'll have to make sure the Power BI is integrated, SQL Server link services has been created, they are working fine, and then those link services has been validated properly with Key Vault, and then warehouse is working, lakehouse is working, everything, right? So you don't have to do that. And then I have to combine with Databricks platform, Databricks Spark, and then I'll have to see how it works. And then Databricks I'll have to pay separately. All those headaches, right? You don't have to think about it. It's simply as simple as that. So, but I would suggest you to explore it a lot. So Fabric is almost mature, but I wouldn't call it mature product. There are a lot of changes that has been coming, but engineers and users like you and me, based on our working, Fabric is all ears. They're ready to hear you. They're ready to hear us. There are a lot of channels for directly accessing to product teams, so they will hear us. Okay, now it's creating a data frame. It's a bit slow because what I've created is a F2 license here. So if you see here, this is F2 capacity, which is a very basic model. Uh, Normally, F64 will be the way to go. And that's what even the Microsoft recommends. If you have an x64 license, this is it. It would be useful, but mindful of the cost, because if you run it every time, as of now, there is an auto pause feature that has been introduced with Fabricate, but that is on the way. That is coming. You can expect in few months, but always when you're working or doing some kind of POC, make sure you use with minimal, or else if you are going with F64 or above, make sure you downsize it or stop it immediately. Otherwise, the costing would be very huge. Okay, now the notebook has been completed. See, the notebook has been completed successfully. So we are getting the same answer, right? So it is reading the answers from within the 366 note 360 pager. and then it is giving you a human-like response, that is natural language response within seconds. You can try to play with OpenAI with combined with Fabric. So you would have seen how simple is it for me to create a vector database, a couple of OpenAI models, even though I didn't create it live, but it was very easy, and all were within a single environment, right? Microsoft Data Suite, and then with Azure and Fabric. So there is, if you would have seen, I have not spent a lot of time integrating all these services. I had time to explore only the core area, because if you are using other tools, you will have the integration part itself becomes a lot of headache. So that is not it here. So one of the advantages over here. So also it is scalable, scalable event house. You can set the scalable fabric and everything. From there, you can explore. Okay. Being said that, any questions so far?
Vinod, will we have the recording available for this?
I think Prerna can answer that.
Yeah, we will upload this recording on our community platform, which is www.fifthia.com.
Yeah, thanks.
So let me know, guys, if you have any questions. You can always reach out to me in LinkedIn or Twitter or any other platform. If you have any other suggestions or any other topics that you would like to hear, I write a lot of blogs, both in my own blog as well as in C# Corner as well. So you can always follow me. So that is it from me. Prerna, for you. Prerna, over to you.
So, on the behalf of Multi-Cloud for You, I'd like to thank Vinodh for sharing such a wonderful and informative session. And thank you all the participants for giving time and joining this session. And the certificate will be issued from our side within 1 week. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Tim. Thanks for taking time in your weekend and then for coming up for learning. And special thanks to Prerna and team for arranging this one. Thank you.